Frozen. Very cool. Well, to me, funny people is passable. Speaking canonically. You know, when it comes to oddball titles, the men who stare at goats would be hard to bleat. The guy's a yo-yo, and he may be stringing them along.
In Face Off, Travolta is a federal agent charged with catching terrorists. Because Cage is the most vicious terrorist. Genius script by Mike Werb and Michael Caleri. They trade places. What happens after that? Here's all you have to do. Leave your logic in the lobby.
I was skate bored. The movie is filled with wonders for every family. For kiddies and for daddies and, of course, for mummies.
It's different from so many other movies about youth because instead of grossing you out, Stand By Me is engrossing.
And this should bring the lights back on. There you go. So that's it. Gene, I'm sorry, you know, I've asked you 100 times, don't be drying your hair while we're doing a show. It's an old building, it has old circuits, it's not up to it.
I'm sorry, Dave. It was so quiet out there, I didn't think there was a show on.
Hear about Debbie Gibson's perfume? Julie Crone will be here tonight.
Okay, let's see. A couple of guests, Paul in the band, Almar gets coffee. I guess for next half hour, I'll watch Hawaii Five-0. Not so successful is Lightship, a melodrama that would have been the bottom half of a double feature in the old days.
What was going on in your life before television?
Magazines. I was newspapers and magazines I worked on, and it's a very unusual thing happened. I was writing for Look magazine. I was the movie critic for Look, and I had a column in the Ladies' Home Journal. And I got a telephone call one morning from a vice president of NBC. He says, "We have been reading your stuff. Do you write the way you talk?" I said, "Yeah, I talk the same way I write." They said, "We're thinking of putting a movie critic on local television. Would you like to come over for an audition?" So I went over. I went in, and I sat down, and the vice president went, "Let's talk about radio." And that's how I got on. They put me on the radio because they couldn't put anybody who looks like this on television in those days.